So, patients, in continuation of the ministerial inauguration, we're still going to keep talking about it all through this week. Of course, we've been able to review, expectations of Nigerians on these ministers. And like we all know, Monday was the inauguration. They also assumed office. That was yesterday. And then we have some of these ministers giving their promises. Now, these are promises that are very catchy. They are very interesting when you listen to their agenda on how they want to, move the ministry forward and then do their jobs diligently. You get to find out that they are really on track. We're super excited to hear, all of their inaugural speech. And then this brings us to what we'll be doing today on today's episode of the Morning Cruise. We'll be spotlighting the Minister of State, Gas, Petroleum Resources, and also the Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, in person of Ekperikpe Echo and also Henike Lopobiri. Now, we know that these both ministries have been splitted. It's a good thing. Now, it shows that Tinubu's administration, they actually know what they want and they know what they are doing. So both of them will be focused on their ministries and they will deliver. We hope they deliver, with the splitting. We really hope that. Yes, exactly. We really hope that they deliver. And then also with the viral video going round of Wike's inauguration speech, I beg your pardon. He said a whole lot of things. And the most important ones that Nigerians, of course, trust Nigerians, especially FCT residents, their ears are, is already standing up, is opened. Wike said a lot. Wike said, for those, he gave a sound warning for those that know that they have structures on illegal lands, federal government lands that are meant for, either projects by the federal government. They should know that Wike is coming for them. And interestingly, Wike came with a very long cutlass. So Wike came with a very long cutlass. So these are things that we'll be looking at on today's episode of the Morning Cruise. Hello and welcome to the program. I am Nimana Bagudu, and as usual, I don't do this alone. I have Patient Moses Chat with me here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, viewers. My name is Patient Moses Chat, and together we're going to be giving you beautiful and interesting stories we've gathered for you today. So, Mimuna, talking about Wike's long cutlass.
I did not see Wike with long cutlass.
Okay.
Based on, he was really serious. And I like it. And I like it when people are confident in what
they are coming to
what they are coming to do.
Just tell you, this is what.
So you already know.
Be ready.
Bam. You already know.
Anything you see, I told you.
Yes.
So be ready, sense for it.
Exactly.
So talking about illegal structures, I believe that it's, in as much as it's going to hurt, a lot of people are going to be affected. You don't just imagine you have a house, then one morning he's standing by your side or you're close to your house and he's telling you that this structure is not supposed to be here. This is government land. This is government.
But we hope there are. I know. At the end of the day, there are going to be compensations. But then these compensations really don't ease the tension.
That's true.
Because let's be rational. We have bonds. You've been in this building for maybe, let's say, over 10-15 years, and then someone is coming to tell you that, hey, this house that you're looking at, it's not on the right. You feel bad, and even if you're going to be compensated based on the worth of the current worth of that land and maybe the building and everything. Trust me, you will still feel bad. Let's be honest. Yes, you still.
And bad. I don't think the compensation it won't cover, because it's going to be based on, let me see, the current this thing, but there's, like you said, the bond is always there.
The bond is always there
again. At that point, I wish I can just carry my house
and then take it somewhere. But I really hope nobody is found wanting at the end of the day. And then Wike also went further to say, for the land sellers, let's use the word sellers, the land sellers, for those that will sell land to Mimana and then go back and sell to patients and go back and send to Mr. B, Wike is saying, watch your back. I am here for you. Okay, so viewers, we have these and more exciting futures for you on today's episode of the Morning Cruise. But first, let's go on a quick break. And then when we come back, we'll kickstart with the news update. We'll be back shortly. Allow me a one. Hello there and welcome to the news update. I am Mimuna Bagudu. The federal government has put in place plans to introduce compressed natural gas (CNG) as an alternative to premium motor spirit known as petrol, especially in the area of public transportation. The government intends to do this by rolling out 11,500 new compressed natural gas powered vehicles as well as 55,000 conversion kits in order to convert cars that are originally powered by PMS to CNG powered vehicles, Rema O reports.
According to the presidency, CNG will cost 250 naira per litre as opposed to PMS, which currently costs 617 naira per litre. As gathered from opinions of public transport motorists in Abuja, there were diverse opinions on the issue. While some agreed with the government that compressed natural gas is a better alternative that will be cheaper and long-lasting, others stated that they do not agree with the idea because they view gas as being more expensive than petrol and less available or accessible when compared to PMS, which according to them is readily available for sale and consumption.
It's not a new initiation, that is being brought in by one person or the other. It has been necessary for some decades ago. All these advanced countries has been into it, and I think this time around that we are facing difficulty of dollar scarcity, floating of naira, and devaluation of naira. All these things, and at least the PMS marketers are really telling us that why the hike of the fuel price is because of the dollar, and I think that we can have alternative, and that alternative, the best alternative to me, to my own opinion, is CNG.
As far as it will be economized, because nowadays now we are not getting anything. You understand? Fuel is 617 naira, and the passengers we are carrying, they are complaining there is no money. So they are complaining. So if I'm opportune, I will convert it. I will do that.
Also, others stated that they will be willing to convert their PMS-powered vehicles to CNG-powered vehicles if it is made available to them. But on the other hand, others said that if the cars are meant to be converted here in Nigeria, they would not be interested in any form of conversion due to lack of trust in the Nigerian system.
Just want to plead that in case if they are doing it, they should create an avenue where the poor masses that are using taxes and other people can be able to afford to convert it, not at a very high price. Chicken, everybody who are just go to River State, they have two engine there. One engine for gas, another one is for fuel.
Adalbi Rema Ogwejofor reporting for Value Chain TV.
Atiku Bagudu, the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, has stated that the new administration will strive to achieve double-digit economic growth. President Bola Tinubu's vision for double-digit economic growth was outlined in a press conference yesterday, saying that it will be inclusive of every corner of the country and that if other nations can achieve it, why not Nigeria? Bold and courageous steps are in place in order to reposition Nigeria and have a governance structure that he believes will enable Nigeria to achieve sustained double-digit growth, as other nations have achieved and help us achieve our economic goals, he said. The president's major policy change was the merging of the functions of the National Planning Commission and the Federal Budget and Economic Planning, which he said was a significant policy change. He said that the best way to organize and budget functions within the ministry was to have a cohesive organizational structure to effectively implement them. The ministry will place emphasis on the delivery of the president's promise to deliver economic growth and improve the lives of all Nigerians, adding that these will be achieved by harmonization of planning frameworks, alignment and prioritization of medium-term development plans, presidential campaign manifesto containing sector-specific and strategic reports that are in sync with sustainable development goals. Residents of the various states in the Federation are yet to receive the palliative announced by the federal government last Thursday to ease subsidy rules. The Tinubu administration announced that it will distribute 180 billion and 180 trucks of rice to the state. Nevertheless, delivery of such materials to state has been a long process. Patient Moses Chat reports.
Reports gathered by Value Chain reveal that most Nigerians in Abuja are not aware of the 5 billion naira palliative that has been issued to the 36 state governments in Nigeria for disbursement to the vulnerable people in their states. Speaking on the delay, a lot of respondents said they do not believe the palliatives will be shared, and even if it is, masses would not get access to it. Making reference to the COVID-19 palliative that was ordered by those that were meant to disburse it, some said the Nigerians were no longer interested in any form of government intervention.
But what about those people that are in charge of those palliative? What is their plan? That is the question we need to ask ourselves. What is their plans? You know? So that's why, governor also, they might also have a good mind, towards those palliative. What of those people that governor will send to go and disburse those things for people? So we have a lot of work to do.
Poor men in the village, we don't even know anything will be bank, but to have bank account. How you go take it? How you go take reach them out? We don't need them for this one country. Put a subsidy be there so that people will fit afford fuel to progress.
That channeling those funds to people-oriented projects is much better because it take longer time people benefiting from it. But then alternatively, if government wishes that the money should reach the people at all levels, from local governments to states to city capitals, including Abuja, I think we're in the era of technology. There's no need to waste a lot of time contemplating how best this money should be shared. It's about applying technology. Nigeria Emergency Identity Management Commission is there. The details of all Nigerians are there. Anybody using phone numbers can easily update their account numbers, and government can easily disburse that money using account numbers, I think.
They stated that the government should rather channel the funds back to subsidizing fuel to make it affordable for people to buy and run their businesses, or channeled into people-oriented investment and projects, as it will be a faster, better and more effective way to get returns and positive outcomes. Moses Patience Chat reporting for Value Chain TV.
The Honorable Minister of State for Gas and Petroleum Resources, Obogemem Ekperikpe Eko, said the country is now fully able to draw on its accumulated energy reserves, which have been lying dormant for years. The minister made this known at the presidential villa during the minister swearing-in ceremony. Mr. President's ingenuity in establishing the Ministry of Gas Resources, which has about 280 trillion standard cubic feet, translating into $800 billion, indicates that he is eager to explore all the Nigerian reaches for the benefit of the country's economy, beyond crude oil, according to him. Nigeria's leading indigenous energy company, Seplat Energy PLC, has agreed to deepen its partnership with the Edo State government towards improved social, economic, and environmental development. The agreement was reached during discussions when a team of Seplat Energy's management and board members, led by the chairman, Basil Umiye, paid a courtesy visit to the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. Seplat Energy is known for its vision to drive Nigerians' transition towards a cleaner, more reliable, and accessible energy future. And that is all for the news update. I am Mimuna Bagodu. Thanks for watching. We'll be kickstarting the newspaper review with the Punch newspaper, and the major story on the Punch newspaper: anger at State Warehouse, rise, delay palliatives sharing. You can find this on page 2 and 27 on the Punch newspaper. And then we can see Borino distributes rice to 400,000 households, I beg your pardon. Workers lament hunger, demand relief. Labour insists 5 billion naira not enough. Gombe promises workers 10,000 naira each every month, and then also Anambra 12,000 naira. And then also we can see Niger, AU plans fresh sanctions. Is Niger? Niger, AU plans fresh sanctions after Salami warns against war. You can find this on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. And then also we have federal government, state, local government share 966 billion naira July revenue. And then also we have EFCC mom as Dizani faces bribery charge in UK. You can find this on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. And then just below the Punch newspaper, we have Naira slump, manufacturers raw material imports hit 18 trillion naira. You can find that on page 17 of the Punch newspaper. And then also we have Associate Mons Glan Senators Aid, Associates mourn slain senators' aide, demand killer soldiers' arrest. This story can be found on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. And then lastly, we have Ogun doctors plan September 4th strike over unpaid allowance. You can find that on page 27 of the Punch newspaper.
Okay, all right. Still on newspaper review. Moving on to blueprints. One of the big stories. Badaru to service chiefs on insecurity. Give me timeline. I'll cross command channel to get results. Says we can't afford to disappoint Nigerians. Military might alone won't guarantee stability. Matawale. FG will deploy more tech to secure borders. Tunji Ojo. You'll find this on page 6 on Blueprints newspaper. African Union suspends Niger over military coup. El Rufai, Fani Kayode caution ECOWAS on war option. This is also on page 6 of Blueprints newspaper. Still on Blueprints newspaper. Medical, dental consultants threaten strike and issues 21-day ultimatum. This is on page 13. And then on page 22, federal government, states, local governments share 966 billion naira revenue in July. Diaspora remittance diverted to unlicensed online firms, says ABCON. You'll find this on page 23 on your Blueprints newspaper. And that's all for Blueprints newspaper.
Okay, moving on, we have the Vanguard newspaper here, and then the major story: Niger AU plans sanctions against junta's supporters. You can find this on page 5, and then just underneath it, wants impact assessment of ECOWAS force, reject interface by non-African states, suspends Niger over coup. Abdusalami delivers military junta's terms to ECOWAS, says diplomacy see the better of situation. Notes meeting with Niger junta fruitful. Suspected jihadists kill 12 Niger troops, says state TV State TV power cuts in Niger threaten to spoil millions of vaccines as sanctions bite, UN says, and then military intervention in Niger's war between brothers, El Rufai wants ECOWAS. And then just on the top of the Vanguard newspaper, gas flaring, Nigeria losses 34.1 billion naira as oil firms play flare 12.7 MSCF. 34 years after Obaseki settles late Ambrose Ali's benefit, releases 1.3 billion for monarchs. UK police charges ex-petroleum minister Alison Madueke with bribery. You can find this on page 9 of on the Vanguard newspaper. And then we also have tribunal dismisses petition seeking to nullify reps deputy speaker's election. You can find this on page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then also we have Wike to FCT officials. Wahala don't come. I'll increase your BP. You can find this on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. So patients just what we're talking about. So you see,
God.
even Wike knows that
Wahala.
he's going. The wahala he's bringing will not be an easy wahala. I just hope everybody, all FCT residents, are at alert and ready. And then also, still on the Vanguard newspaper, we have Tinubu sends NIMC boss on terminal leave. And then also we have railway vandalism. NSCDC arrests 13 impound railings sleepers worth 8 billion naira. Okay, and then let's look at sports on the Vanguard newspaper on page 30. Spain official wants Rubiales to resign for case, and that is all for the Vanguard newspaper.
Okay, moving on to Daily Trust newspaper. A big story there says Tinubu's 48 ministers to gulp 8.6 billion naira in 4 years. Beneath that, you'll find more to be spent on extra codes and others. Earnings to shoot after RMFAC's wages review. National Assembly should trim cabinet to 20. It's wasteful. Implement Oronsayo report now, experts. And just above that, AU suspends Niger as ECOWAS delegation assures of diplomacy. UK reduced tariff on 3,000 Nigerian products. You'll find this on page 21 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Pilot of crashed Navjet buried in Zaria. And on insecurity, Defense Minister demands timeline from service chiefs. You'll find this on page 9, Daily Trust newspaper. You can't frustrate me, Omahi tells civil servants. And this is on page 23 of the Daily Trust newspaper. British police to arraign Desani October 2nd over bribery. Father kills son, burns corpse over cassava in Akwa Ibom. This is on page 21 of the Daily Trust newspaper. That's sad.
Okay, let's take a look. Really sad, patients. Let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper and the big story on the Guardian. Federal government, I beg your pardon, ignores 17-year-old concession fee debt, renews terminal leases. You can find this on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And then we have excess crude account down to $474,000 as federal government orders share 966 billion naira in July. And then we have African Union suspends Niger Republic, mounts pressure on coup leaders. You can find this on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And then just by the right, I beg your pardon, on the Guardian newspaper, we have Tinubu retires, Nimsi boss, okay, Kuka Odusote as acting DG. You can find these on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. And then we have UK police arraigned Dizeni October 2nd for bribery, recovery $53 million asset. You can find these on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Made in Nigeria phones, another good idea. Awful execution. You can find this on page 12 of the Guardian newspaper. And then lastly, we have how rising unemployment others worsen school dropout rate. This is a news analysis. Actually, you can find this on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper.
Still on newspaper review, we'll be looking at the Nation newspaper. And one of the major story, new twist in Niger crisis as Russian mercenaries arrive. Still on Guardian, government to curb rising inflation with cut in money supply. You'll find these on page 2. Stock exchange joins bid to boost forex availability. APC declares Arebesola's group caucus on contraption. UK police charge Dizani with bribe taking and fraud. Still on the Nation newspaper. President names NIMC boss. Medical consultants serve 21-day strike notice. That you would find on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. And still on the Nation newspaper, BRICS Summit offers $10 billion loans. And lastly, Wager Group in Mali with arms and ammunition. Abdul Salami reads dialogue, hopes, briefs Tinubu. That's all for newspaper review today.
Okay, so you can pick up any of the copies of the newspapers that we just reviewed this morning, just so in case you would want to read out stories. So that is all for the newspaper review. Next is commodity market. Let's take a look at prices on the commodity table. And then also when we come back, we still have something very interesting to talk about underneath the commodity market future. Let's take a look at the commodity market table. So patience, the prices on the commodity market are still the way they are. But today on commodity market, we want to draw the attentions of Nigerians concerning the old note. Now remember the whole cashless policy.
Cashless policy.
Let's not even go there. That one is another story for another day. Yes. That period was really not a funny one at all. But then, thank God, of course, a conclusion came to, okay, Nigerians can keep using the old Naira notes. That was after the elections. But here, remember a deadline was given for December 31st, 2023 for the withdrawal of the old notes. A lot of Nigerians are still saying that even with, the whole circulation of the old note and, the news going around that we're still going to keep using the new notes. Still, the new notes are not in circulation. Even when they go to banks to withdraw money for their daily businesses, they are not being given new notes like in a whole chunk. They can give, let's say, you want to take out 200,000 naira from the counter, they can give you maybe 150 of old notes and then give you 50,000 naira of new notes. So the new note is not really in circulation. Have you been just once in a while? Even if you go,
like I've not even gotten this new notes from the ATM.
Yes, exactly. ATMs are not dispensing the new notes, but when you go to the POS merchants, even if they want to give you, let's say 10,000 naira, they still put it together with the old and the new note. So on the commodity market today, we want to just take a review of the new notes not being in circulation that much, and then also to draw the minds of Nigerians and our viewers that, hey, in as much as we know that the money is not even there, let's start with that, the money is not even there, but hey, you need to make up your mind. You need to know that I beg your pardon, December 31st, 2023 is the deadline for the old notes to be, to stop being in circulation. So let's enjoy this documentary. And then after that, we visited the streets, and then we decided to have just a little interview with this POS merchants just to find out their views on the circulations of the old note and the new naira note. Enjoy.
Despite the increase in currency circulation from 982 billion naira in February to 1.6 trillion naira at the end of March 2023, the new naira notes introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria have become very scarce. While the CBN blames Nigerians for hoarding available ones, maybe in anticipation of the December 31st deadline, the banking public, in return, accuses the Apex Bank of not supplying enough to banks. The banks themselves are pointing fingers at CBN, saying that the Apex banking sector regulator is only targeting cashless economy and do not worry about supplying them with new notes. The bank's automated teller machines, which dispense new notes at the time the new notes were launched, have returned to old notes disbursements across the counter or through other payments channels. Even POS merchants are not having enough access to the new notes, either when they visit the banks to withdraw money.
So what we are to encourage now, the one should just like to introduce the new note more than the old note. So most customers just came now, just ask, do you have old currency? Do you have 500 notes, new one? That's what they are always asking now, because they are already attached to the new naira notes.
Usually, when I went to the bank to collect cash, they usually give me old naira notes. For instance, I can see if I want to withdraw like 500,000 naira, they even 1,000 I can't be able to get new naira notes inside our 500,000 naira. Sometimes if I ask I need new naira note, they will say they don't have. It's only the old naira note they have. Even them too, they are not getting it. So that is that.
So, Patience, you heard what he said. He said even if you go to the bank to take out money, for him as a POS merchant, they usually don't give him new notes. And then, interestingly, these old notes are very dirty. There was this day I went to the ATM. Very surprising. It was I was angry.
Like,
using
is this
the ATM. Using the ATM to take out money. I saw old debt. I was like, oh my god, Nigeria, my country, literally.
Oh god.
So we really hope that after the December 31st deadline, the new notes will be in circulation. And who knows, maybe we'll wake up one morning and then we'll find out everything has been changed, and then we can keep using forever the old naira note. So viewers, let's go on a short break, and then when we come back, we have other exciting, informative, and also insightful segments for you on the morning cruise. We'll be back shortly.